Hey, welcome back to this tutorial. Would be number 3, I believe, for using Ruby on your Raspberry Pi. Last tutorial we went over the Linux commands, and we're going to continue going over commands, but this time we're going to do it the Ruby way. So here we are. This time we're going to be working in IRB. So if you didn't add the IRB, hopefully you didn't add the IRB yet to the hello script like I did. Even if you did, and you can't figure out how to get back into your Pi, we're about to clear that up right now. So in Ruby, you can access your Linux commands and run them within the Ruby shell. And you can also do this within your scripts and your programs that you make. There's a couple of ways of doing it. The two most common ways of doing this in Ruby is by typing system, and then in your parentheses, again it doesn't matter single or double, you put in the Linux command like system start X to start Raspbian. To show you how this works, let's start up Nano, the text editor. And there we go. As you can see, it loads right up. And it comes back. If the command was successful, it will come back true. If it's unsuccessful, it will come back false. Let's see, show you how this works. System. We'll go ahead and make a mistake. Gem install, which I'll explain that in here in a minute. Error while fetching gem. Please specify the name of the gem. There was an error, so it returns false. Gems are library add-ons for the Ruby interpreter. Technically speaking, your Ruby script, each one that you write, is a gem unto itself, technically speaking, because it is a library of commands of which you can either access or automatically does for you. We'll touch base onto that a little more. There are many gems out there, and there's so many kinds, and each one can add all sorts of different features to your Ruby interpreter. In fact, we'll be building some gems here shortly. But I just wanted to show you the difference between, in the Ruby shell, the difference between a true and false command setup. If it fails, it will come back false. If it runs correctly, it will come back true. Another way to run system commands is with these backticks. And if you don't know what the backtick is, if you look to the button with the key to the left side of your one key, that is your backtick. It also has that little guy right there. But in your backticks, you can do the same thing. Nano, end it. Now, the difference between, which I'm about to show you, and there's a reason why I did this, the difference between system and nano is system will display what's going on, whereas nano just runs the command and it don't get any output. A little bit better, you'll get a better idea of what's going on with it in the next tutorial. So we talked about changing directories in Bash command line, in the Bash shell. Now we're going to go over how to do it in Ruby, and do it the Ruby way. Now, of course, we can cd desktop, Yeah, I did backticks. Okay. System CD desktop. No. We can do it that way, or we can do it the Ruby way, which is dir capital D dot chdir home pi. We'll switch over to documents. And the 0 means that we changed over. To check our directory, we type in dir, again with the capital D, dot pwd, and you will see home pi documents. Now, yeah, this is a little bit drawn out, same thing like with the CD and home path name of really long directory tree. We can do it that way too, but there's a reason why I'm showing you how to do it with the Ruby syntax, because that's going to come in very handy. Let's see, other commands. We can also make files, edit files, change files, delete files, make a file readable, writable, executable. We're not going to touch base onto all of that stuff at this point in time. It's just a little bit too much to go into right now. Each one would have its own tutorial unto itself, and it'd kind of be a little bit boring to do it that way, so I'm just going to show you some stuff to help make your Pi functional, easier to work with, especially if you're brand new to all of this. And being able to write your own scripts to change or customize your own builds is very fulfilling, especially when you get your very first one down. Some other things we're going to talk about real quick is how we write our programs. Ruby is object-oriented, so everything that we write in Ruby is considered an object. Objects are called classes in Ruby. Class. So to give you an example, class, we'll call this dog, and we'll have it say, I'll show you another one. You have put S, and there's also put C. We'll get into that a little bit later, but you have put S, and you also have print. The print and put S does the same thing, or puts, as you call it, does the same thing, but it does it in a different manner. So we'll do this, show you it like this. Print end. Oh, end. Yeah, I know. So dog.new. Okay. Exit. IRB. Class. I messed up, and you can do the capitalizing, but that's completely different. We'll touch on that here a little bit later. Class. Dog. Put. Prints. I messed up again. Yeah, I had prints is print. But anyways, everything that is in that class works within that class. So all the commands, all the code that you put into it will work and associate every time that class is pulled up. You can also work with other commands from different classes by inheriting the class from the other class. which would be, if we were doing this, class. Yeah, if I can spell. And if we wanted to inherit what we had in that class, we would go into this class, dog, and then we'll have less than sign, and then, oh, I spelled that all messed up. Like that, and then end. So everything, yep, I know. Everything that's in this class of animal would go right into the class of dog and could be accessed. So on the next command, on the next tutorial, we're going to get into some real fun stuff and start putting all this stuff together and working on our Hello World program a little more. So again, practice these commands, look up the Ruby commands, change directory, stuff of this nature. Do a little bit of research, because that's the best way to learn something, to learn that, and just practice it in IRB. And so pretty much to this point, if you haven't practiced the Linux command lines, do so. Write down a list on a piece of paper, a reference guide, and also write down how it's supposed to be put into the terminal, the syntax and how it works. Do the same thing with the Ruby commands. You have the dir.chdr, dir.pwd, I gotta look in the book, get all of them. But we'll go into more of that as we start working on a program. I just wanted to make sure that everyone can see how this works, get an idea of what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be building, and hopefully I haven't kind of ruined the surprise for you. So I will catch you guys later. Make sure to practice. Practice makes permanent, not perfect.